You have one unheard message.
Hi, Sarah. It's Dr. calling. I just wanted to let you know that we got your results back. Good news. It looks like your blood work is super great. And your MRI and your ultrasound also looks super clear. So what we're going to do is we're going to refer you to some specialists who can run more tests. So basically, I'm going to refer you to a hematologist, an orthopedist.
All I want to do is get up again and start over. But this time, it's not my mind that's holding me back. For once, I'm actually ready to hit the ground running. But this time, my body literally cannot run.
If you have any questions, you can give us a call back here. But we hope you feel better soon. Bye-bye.
End this message. To delete this message, press 7. Message deleted.
Okay, I'm gonna say the thing that I've been ignoring out loud, and the world isn't gonna end when I do. My name is Sarah Ray. I'm 19 years old, and I am disabled. According to my half of a bachelor's degree in psychology, grief is supposed to move in stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Even for normal people, those stages are non-linear. You skip through them, circle back to ones you're supposed to be done with, get knocked back to square one completely. It's just generally not a fun time for anyone. But when you're chronically ill, grief works a little bit differently. What should come and go in waves ends up as more of a tsunami. It's as if you've been standing on the beach for a while, watching the tide recede farther than you think it should, but no one else seems to be concerned. You've asked at least 4 experts if it's supposed to do that, and they tell you that it's totally normal and to ignore the tide that is still on its way out because it must just be in your head. And then, on some random Tuesday in August, this massive 80-foot wave comes crashing in on you, and suddenly you're down so deep that no one else is stupid enough to dive in after you. And even if you find your way to the surface again, that massive wave wiped out everything you used to know on shore. Grief in itself is a lot like drowning. The grief that comes with chronic illness is a lot like a natural disaster that only you seem to feel. I saw someone on Instagram say that while terminal illness is a death sentence, chronic illness is a life sentence. Because even if people see your pain, this grief is phenomenally skilled at staying invisible. And it doesn't really evolve like I expected. While I might be in the acceptance stage of what happened in August, I'm still depressed about December and angry about March and in denial of what the doctor said yesterday. You keep holding out hope for the next doctor's appointment, the next injection, the next procedure, and you wait for them unconsciously hoping that it will all be over after this next thing. You keep holding out hope that just one more time and it'll all be over. You keep waiting for the light to break through, and it never does. If I approach healing from the understanding of an able-bodied person, I'll never find peace. This tunnel goes on literally forever, so how am I supposed to see the light at the end of it when there is no end? If I can literally never physically heal again, and the grief about that will always and forever stick around on my shoulders, there's really only one option left. And that's to steal joy back. Cheers. In my defense, it had been months since I ate any form of bread or bagel, and I'm from Long Island, so yeah. Moving on. I ushered in the new year, the big 26, by immediately cliff diving off the side of my remaining health. On top of all of that endo stuff, the ability to eat gluten just kind of abandoned me on some random Monday in January. I caught on pretty quick that the gluten was the issue and obviously stopped eating it as all sane people would, and then went and got an appointment for a gastroenterologist who could test me for celiac. And when we did get there finally, she informed me that testing for celiac accurately would be impossible if I wasn't still eating gluten. Therefore, I needed to be eating gluten for a minimum, a bare minimum, of at least 2 weeks before doing the blood work. AKA, willingly poison myself for the greater good. And in the spirit of stealing joy back and realizing that I may never be able to eat some of my favorite foods again after this, I of course made a massive list of all of the yummiest gluten-containing foods and made it my personal mission for 2 weeks to experience all of them for what could be the final time. And it was only 2 weeks, but it felt much longer. So in grand total, I ate a bagel, chicken and waffles, one of my favorite burgers, and a cookie skillet shared with my mom, chicken wings, a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup on an egg bagel, my first ever corn dog with my sister, who is the corn dog connoisseur, one of my favorite pizza slices, another bagel, birthday cake for my mama, Chick-fil-A, my favorite tiramisu ever, my other favorite pizza from a different pizza place that I ate for lunch, dinner, and then lunch again the next day, garlic knots, another bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup on an egg bagel, this Nutella pizza thingy that my mom wanted to try, and it was pretty bomb, I'm not gonna lie. A PB&J with bugles and Sprite out in the sun with my girl Carly, a Korean corn dog, peach buns, sesame chicken. You wanna know what the next thing is? Guess what? It's yet another bagel. A microwave mac and cheese cup, literally just 2 pieces of fresh sourdough toast. Oh my god. Wendy's with my best friend, Eggo waffles, a different one, but also one of my favorite burgers, my favorite fruit tart while my hair dye marinated, the tacos of all time, plus the entire tub of their salsa verde, because I don't know why, but no one else makes it like they do. So if anyone can explain why theirs is on such a different plane of salsa existence, please let me know. Coconut shrimp from Red Lobster, way too much ice cream in a dipped waffle cone that immediately disintegrated in my hands and got everywhere. Sushi, dumplings, and crab rangoons. My favorite ramen, a Costco hot dog and chocolate chip cookie. Listen, I don't even really like hot dogs, but there is something about the Costco food court that will make me mourn that Costco hot dog for the rest of my life. And for my final meal of the 2.5 weeks of destroying my poor gut with delicious food, a ham and cheese sandwich on a toasted everything bagel with some chips. It was all delicious, but I also feel like I'm going to throw up just looking at the list. And it hurt. I proved it. I'm not crazy, okay? Right? I usually sit like there. That's like my general width, okay? I gotta tell me, she's cute. This is where we're at. What is that? What should I name her? Like, what the fuck? Ew! Ew! I can't put that on the internet. I can't put that on the internet. I can definitely put that on the internet. It sucked. Ate that pizza and I am fighting for my absolute life to keep it down. We're gonna take a little bit of I am back in the building. I regret everything and nothing. We're back. I'm legit gonna finish this before I finish the week. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. really badly. But simultaneously, along with the bad parts, in the select times I was able to see through the pain and the not feeling like myself, there were some fun parts too. I got to go out with friends, steal food off each other's plates, look at the whole menu instead of one itty bitty sequestered section, gossip over dinner, laugh over lunch, disassociate during dessert, but still be like peacefully in each other's company. I got to go to restaurants that bring back memories and emotions, feel nostalgia over my meal. Among all that fear and guilt and pain that came with the food, I also got to have some joy. It didn't take away any of the negative emotions, it just existed alongside them. And for not having any joy for a long while, I will take that win. I'll take that win.
Parker, are you hungry?
Starving.
The fact that you ordered 3 separate shrimp linguine Alfredos is...
Thoughts, question?
Yes. Oh, she looks really pretty in this language. Oh, yeah. She looks so pretty. Let's get a little zoom in. Oh, she's scared. Oh, she's scared.
I haven't eaten all day. What did I say? Right. I'm eating this raw shit. I'm lactose intolerant. You and your passengers will usually be perfectly safe, provided the vehicle has a metal roof and body.
Okay.
So we're fine.
Yeah. T.
What to do during this ride? Do not touch metal. Keep your hands in your lap and avoid touching the steering wheel, door handles, radio knobs, or pedals. Close the windows, pull over safely if driving and find a safe spot.
That's so cool.
You're gonna be living in my car now. Well, gotta set up camp for you.
Yeah. Awesome song. Oh my god. That's
Oh my god.
Yo.
That's crazy.
Who's all this food for? She's large. She looks gorgeous though.
Like, I want to change my hair so much, but I don't want to actually change my hair. I just want to wear wigs. So I mean, like, get a version of that I can just, like, buy
Then
wigs.
you wear wigs. No, it starts. Have you worn wigs?
When will you
Wear wigs.
I don't know.
No, really. No, it's.
Will you? Maybe. When will you wear wigs? It's nice out. Go touch grass. Love you guys. Like that Smash
Say goodbye. I don't even know if you're in frame.
We are.
Okay.
So I think the path to whatever version of healing I can get is to make space for all of the emotions. The grief, the anger, the depression, the denial, the rage, the defeat, the disappointment, the regret, the deep-seated sorrow, the resentment, and everything else under the umbrella. It all has to have room. Every one of them has space to be, and every one of them is allowed to be. Just so long as that means I also allow myself space for the good things. Because there's also only so far that stealing joy back can take me. Sometimes it really is just that bad. And in those moments, and sort of in the grand scheme of the rest of my life, maybe healing comes not with accepting it and being done with it, but making my peace with the inevitability of it. Kind of like giving up. But in a positive way. In a way that lets me move on. I can know that everything terrible will probably lurk forever. And if it's not in the spotlight at the moment, it's stalking me just around the corner. But I can also choose to see beauty. I can choose to create beauty. And that's where all of this comes in. I've taken up drawing again, poetry, video games, makeup, music. All of these things don't just bring me joy, they let me funnel all this energy somewhere. And even when I'm still in pain afterwards, something in my chest rests when I let it out. And it's nowhere near treatment or a doctor actually listening to me for once. But it works pretty solidly as a coping mechanism. I have to change how my dreams look. I have to make room for all of the bad things that I didn't expect to be part of that dream. And in making room for those, I have to let go of some of the parts of the dream that I really, really wanted. And I do mourn the version of it that I had in my head. But that doesn't mean that letting go of what I think it should look like in favor of a more honest version means that I'm giving up on it. Because if I don't at least meet myself where I am, I won't get to have any of the dream at all. And I'm not putting the jinx on anything too soon, but I'll probably write an album with that fact. Like, build a career off the very thing that feels career ending. I don't know, but it's a start. That's more than I had a couple weeks ago, so we're moving in some kind of direction. I don't know where, but it's a movement, okay? At the start of this video, I pronounced myself disabled. It's taken a while to be able to say that. And to be brutally honest with you, I still feel like I'm not allowed to say it out loud. I still feel like I'm not allowed to call myself that. Because, like, how dare I claim a label that's not meant for me? But it very much is meant for me. Saying it out loud, putting the label on it, doesn't make it any more true. Because whether or not I acknowledge it, it's already true. I mean, if we're being really honest, I haven't even been able to walk properly this month.
I'm literally walking like an old man, like this.
But being able to say it out loud, to claim it in the open air instead of pushing it down, that opens up the possibility of care. Being truer to myself and more honest with other people about who I really am and what I really need, that all leads to deeper connections with the world around me. And maybe even accommodations.
Even though I was already struggling with symptoms of endo back then, brutal periods, pain that sometimes made me sit out of gym or practice, I still pushed through. I never once considered a mobility aid. At the time, my pain wasn't consistent, and I thought needing support like that just didn't apply to me. So I guess I'm gonna buy a cane. What the fuck? What's happening? I just, like, as I'm sitting here looking at these, I'm like thinking about it now that I'm thinking about what she said too. I've been in pain since I was 12. I've had this since I was 12. The thought of, like, what if I had support this whole time? Even if I didn't start using a cane at 12, because that wasn't necessary. But just the thought of, like, even if in August, when it started really declining, I might still be in school. Like, I might have finished the semester. If I had support until now, I might feel like I could go on with my degree. And the fact that it's dawning on me that I have in fact been disabled this whole time and never gotten accommodations or even thought to request them. Even for someone who knows so much about the disabled community, that's crazy. Why do we all feel like, oh yeah, perfect for that person, but not me, I don't need that? But I literally went to my orthopedist and I was like, hey dude, here's all of our problems, which you already know of. And you have told me several times that you can't fix. So to help me in the short term while I figure out the long term, how about a cane? How about some kind of mobility aid to just help me on those days that it's really, really bad so that I can still move on with my life and not walk like I'm, not to be ageist about it either, but like my 84-year-old grandfather. I really, truly am walking like him. So, and he was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, hard no. Do elaborate, please. This is the way he described it to me. He was like, everything has to have a start and an end. And if you use a cane, when does that end? You know? If you start using a cane now, you just become someone who just uses a cane. I was just kind of nodding at him. I was yesing him because I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and I know it's stupid. I just need a couple minutes to process why it's stupid. Did he not hear the entire rest of the appointment we had? Did he not read my chart? What part of chronic? Everything has to have a start and an end. You literally just told me that this is a chronic issue. What? I've been told repeatedly that there is no cure for any of my issues, and none of the pain management systems are actually guaranteed to manage the pain. What part of chronic? I'm not even mad at him because I'm just baffled at how stupid he sounded. It's stupid.
I mean, think about it. If you had terrible vision and everything was super blurry, you would get prescription glasses to help, right? You wouldn't, I don't know, keep barreling through life unable to see everything around you because you don't want to become someone who just wears glasses. Right? So why is the logic any different when it comes to my pain and mobility issues? Why shouldn't I use aid to increase my quality of life? This whole time, I could have had classroom accommodations to help with school, and guess what? Guess who's not in school anymore? Should have taken that as a sign. If I don't use the aids, it doesn't make me not disabled. The only thing it makes me is stubborn and refusing help. In which case, I can kind of never complain about my pain again because I've elected to not take the things that could help. That's so dumb. It's stupid. It's the same way that if I had a headache, I'd take Advil. If I had cramps, I'd use a heating pad. If I broke my leg, I'd wear a cast and use some crutches. And now that I think about it, expecting me to not use a cane, or just to not use any accommodations in general, there's a word for that. It's ableist. And I have heard and used that word so many times in my life before, but I've never used it in reference to myself, and it feels so weird. But it also feels good to say it out loud, because all of these cocky ass doctors who act like they know everything, but at the same time offer me no answers, they have no compassion in their treatment for me because they can't fathom the thought of a dynamic disability. Which is crazy, because it's 2026. I mean, what kind of Twilight Zone bullshit? I don't think anyone who doesn't need a mobility aid ever thinks about getting one. I'm willing to bet that if I'm this far into the process of debating against myself and researching to try and find a reason it wouldn't help, I probably should at least just give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, we'll just add it to the list of all the other treatments that were fucking useless. And all I'll do is keep working on the self-forgiveness and compassion part. This, failing, would be nothing new. But you really can't blame me for trying everything I can. I can't stay here. And I definitely cannot skip over it. So the only way is through. And if I have to go through this, I might as well do it my way. With a little bit of flair.
I went to the bakery and they were sold out of fruit tarts. Mind you, it's like 12 p.m.
Subscribe, smash that subscribe.
It's something like that.